instantly kill them. M8 now being able to do some damage on the rear armor to Stuk. M8's obviously being able to do some very interesting damage on the rear armor. However, AT gun now shooting at the Stuk, and the Stuk is facing the rear armor destroyed engine, and is the Stuk gonna get taken out? It might get taken out by the AT gun. Yes, it does. So AT gun already with VAT 1, not actually all that much important. Actually, it is somewhat unfortunate it didn't cancel fire with the AT gun and allow the M8 to kill that Stuk, as M8 VAT is far more important and influential to the game than VAT on AT gun is, mostly because the AT gun is far more fragile and less mobile. You can see in terms of army composition now, for PonTi, 2 MGs, 2 Pioneers, 3 Volks in fact, 1 Puma. He had the Stug, but he lost it. And other than the bike, which he did lose, I do believe that PonTi has been able to keep his unit conservation quite rather high. You can see another bunker going up. Not entirely sure what this bunker might be for, but probably a repair bunker, or maybe even MG bunker, considering that it is covering that victory point, although the repair bunker could be very helpful considering that it did go for a D3. The Wehrmacht player, however, with already almost getting a zombie in fact, I would say one more body and that should give him a grenadier squad. Now a pretty big flank coming about with riflemen from the center and from this far most right hand side with some flamers which might actually go against this mine, or maybe they're gonna try to go for this wire. Oh, right on top of the mine. Oh, that is so very unfortunate. So wise mine on the path for to that green cover, and it forces those flamer engineers to retreat, which would actually probably be able to take out this MG with support of the rifleman also coming about. You can see also some infantry VAT for PonTi, so that is why I decided to build a campfire center just a few minutes back. Rifleman now being forced to retreat by 2 Volks and 1 more garrison MG. I do know that people generally say that garrisoning MGs is a bad idea because it is a waste of manpower as it is stationary. However, towards the late mid-game, it's not such a bad idea as powerful abilities start to appear, as things like artillery drops, strafe fronts, and Calliopes are actually able to take out MGs fairly quickly. But if they are inside a bunker, of course, that is very well countered, and you just have to be careful and continuously repair that bunker to make sure that the unit doesn't die as it is taken out. Puma now finally upgun, probably to try to compensate for not having a Stug. PonTi with a lot of fuel, so he could get another Stug if he wants. He's accumulating quite a lot of CPs. Is probably not quite sure what doctrine he should go for, although I would say that Blitzkrieg would be his best bet at this point, as Storm Squads would definitely be useful at taking out AT guns, sneaking up on them. They would definitely be useful at sneaking up on M8s and M3s, and with those Panzerschrecks they would also be definitely very useful at taking out the tanks that are most definitely coming. I'm definitely curious to see just about when is Rock gonna start getting some tanks, as one Sherman could actually do a lot of wreckage around here, or even an Al-Qaeda or an M10. But instead he goes for the BAR upgrade. I'm not sure I can actually agree with this. A late BAR upgrade is useful to make sure your riflemen do not get completely useless towards the late game, especially riflemen gun. Oh, but a Puma gets taken out by that AT gun, which was already set up and already waiting for something to just go by and be able to shoot at it. Rifleman now engaging that OP, which, as you can see, is OP on the munitions point. You can see also a fair amount of OPs around here. Not on any fuel, obviously, as he does have a lot of fuel. It would be good to see PonTi trying to rescue this OP, considering that it wasn't actually set up a long time ago, so it doesn't exactly pay off for its prices yet. There is another munitions OP as well though, so even if he loses that, his munitions income is still going to be pretty high, and in comparison with Rocket will actually be much higher. In fact, in comparison with resource gain, Rock at 32 and 21, while PonTi at 39 and 31. He was at about 46, I believe, and now with the OP destroyed, it is obviously low. Finally, Storm Squad arriving on the field and finally being tagged to Panzer Strikes. Although I must say, PonTi should not have revealed these Storm Squads, because now our US player is gonna know that there are Storm Squads on the field, and he's gonna be that much aware that he should be moving his M8 around, and he could have actually sneaked up on that M8 with those Storm Squads, Panzer Strike, and then move up closer with the Volks and finish it up with a Panzerfaust. However, now not doing that, not sneaking up, not not keeping them concealed until the very last moment. That's actually going to enable the M8 to just keep its distance and do some very interesting damage up against these units, which are actually now charging towards the M8. And if they continue so, they will hit the mine and they will get suppressed, they will probably get pinned, and they will get some very, very heavy casualties. Now with an M3 backing up that M8, it should be more than capable with dealing with a non-cloaked Storm Squad as well. Considering that that Rock by now knows that PonTi went for the Storm Squads, it would be good to see him trying to get snipers out, because snipers do some very good damage up against storms, and they would definitely be more useful than tanks in general, as storms are a fairly decent counter to tanks when they are sneaked up with double Shreks. I do believe that 3 Shreks is enough to take out 1 M10, whereas you need 4 to 5 to take out Sherman. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe it's by those numbers. Bunker, however, getting destroyed, but yeah, say entirely sure what managed to destroy that. Maybe it was no, I was going to suggest maybe it was off-map artillery, but it cannot be, because Rock hasn't actually decided upon his doctrine yet. We now have an M8 engaging the bunker and the Volksgrenadiers. The MG obviously safe, however the Volksgrenadiers is not safe. Then again, the medics are nearby, so they should be able to pick up the casualties that the Volks might take from that M8. We can see Volksgrenadiers now recapturing that sector, and Volksgrenadiers and Storm Squads are resting on the left-hand side, but Riflemen all well already on their way there, and they should be able to force both of these Volks and Storm Squads to retreat, as they are both already with heavy casualties. Volks now moving about, trying to go for the protection of that little wall. Grenadiers being reformed, so finally the first zombie getting out on the field. Big flank coming about with Flamers and Riflemen, and these forces are forced to retreat, but they might actually get taken off. The Volks might get picked off. Our Riflemen are going to focus fire them. They're trying to take some more do some more casualties on them, but they're not being able. One Storm Squad more killed, but they're all going to be able to run away. Now M8 and Quad engaging on the middle of the field as well, taking out the medics, and M8 laying some mines, doing some damage also on some Volks on heavy cover. And we can see now some engineers coming towards the bunker, probably to try to demo charge it. And now this sector finally recapped by the US player. However, the victory point is still counting down for it, and it is fairly even in those terms. Volksgrenadier is almost getting taken out by the M8. Is it gonna get taken out? It goes on the mine, but it does not get it killed. And the M8 gets the Volks down, so they are not able to retreat, and that is a significant manpower damage to our player PonTi, which, as you can see, has now 2 Volks, 1 MG, 2 Pioneers, 1 Grenadier, and 1 Storm Squad. So that manpower damage not so bad, due to the Grenadiers at which he already gained, and he might actually be able to get yet another zombie. As you can see, the medic count is nearly there, another Stug for him as well, and we can see on Rock far much higher unit count actually, with 3 Riflemen, 3 Engineers. He probably has 1 Engineer too many, unless he's actually planning on getting more Flamers, which can always be useful. But we can see he's actually floating manpower and filling quite a substantial way, so I would be definitely expecting him to try to either get tanks or even a T3 to counter the Storm Squads with snipers. Although I suppose with another Stug on the field and with the immobility from the AT gun, he might be more tempted to go for his own T4. Then again, there is such open field on this map that AT should not have any problem dealing with these Stugs. And now Volksgrenadiers going up against the M8, they might try to fast it, then the Stug turning around, shoots but kind of misses. And these Volks are not panzer fasting, and the Stug is not going after it. The Storm Squads appear and definitely are going to be able to force these enemy to retreat, but not actually being able to do much of any damage. AT gun moving up clearly to try to get some shots up against the Stug, but PonTi already moving in. He's already assaulting on the middle of the field, and with those Storm Squads, I don't see this little force being able to handle this. AT gun already being backed off. M8 rushed, but he wisely realizes that he can't handle that he has got to retreat. One Puma and one Storm Squad with penetrating are just too much. The M3 and the AT gun also firing, however, on the right hand side, and some decapping being done upper on the field, so Rock is not inactive at all. He's actually trying to keep the Wehrmacht player at the center, not actually decapping anything while he is able to harass, but now his forces are coming from the north. They are coming towards the south, and they are engaging these forces that might actually get taken out, but they managed to retreat. Pioneers now being engaged, but they retreat immediately. And these Volkswagens should be quite quickly forced to retreat by this Flamer and BARs combined, and the AT-gun should be now able to creep up and take care of destroying this Stug, especially considering that it appears that he's trying to get a sticky on the Stug. If he manages to immobilize this Stug, that's going to be another tank taken out. Ready, sticky bomb going. Is it going to immobilize it? Is it going to damage the engine? Storm's also getting suppressed and forced to retreat. Damage engine on the Stug, so he's now moving about with the M3 and with the AT gun. I'm not entirely sure, however, if he is going to be able to take out the Stug, considering that there is this warehouse, or more like a garage of some kind, or an unfinished garage if you prefer. And Rifleman, however, coming about and is definitely going to try to stick him a little bit more. He might be able to destroy it if it does manage that, and he's most definitely going to be able to creep up with the AT gun. Stick his bombs going off, and he's moving the Rifleman over to cover so they can't be shot up. And the Stug gets immobilized. Now this would be the perfect timing for you to move up either with the M8 or with his AT gun, as either would actually be able to take out the Stug. The M8 from rear armor shots, as the Stug cannot actually turn its cannon towards it or the front armor, and the AT gun obviously would be able to take it out from any angle, but obviously in a less mobile way, as this garage is a very small opening, and it would be vulnerable to the forces that are likely to come, and which are in fact coming for PonTi, which is now going to try to make a desperate repair on that Stug, but the Rifleman still close by, so they should be able to engage those repairing forces, and the Stug already with VAT 3, so it's going to be more resilient up against those. Oh man, a Sherman comes about on the field, and it seems as though Rock heard me talking, although this game was done quite a few days ago, I believe. As he finally takes up to T4, and he takes care of that extra fuel he had. Stug, however, not immobilized anymore, as those repairs are starting to kick in. So he is going to have a much easier time up against the Sherman. However, first shot from the Stug does not penetrate. Repairing forces are taking some serious damage, and the Sherman still has a considerable amount of health, so he might just be able to win this battle. But then again, the Storm Squads are approaching with vengeance strikes, so he's going to force this Stug to retreat, as this Sherman to retreat, as the Stug actually managed to penetrate his front armor as well. I'd like to see his AT guns moving up and try to prevent these forces from actually truly creeping in. You can see some engineers now close by to this bunker. I'm quite positive he's trying to get some more demo charges on it, but he doesn't. And the AMG gun somewhat prematurely retreats, but Flamers were already on the way, so good move, regardless of all of that. We can see now the captured MG from Rock already garrisoning up this building, which is going to help him a lot in securing this fuel and that victory point. However, Stug is already coming towards that end of the field, and with only this infantry force, he will not be able to stand up against the Stug. He might be able to stick it, but it's definitely not going to be able to take out the Stug, and the Stug might actually be able to do some considerable trampling on the Rifleman. And now considering that he does have VAT 3, he should be able to resist sticky bombs rather well. And look at this, look at all of this captain power from engineers and Storm Squads, quickly regaining the left hand side while losing the right hand side. However, with the Stug already there, and if he actually moves the Stug, he could very well take both sides if he wanted to. The Volks already moving there as well. Storm Squad taking some damage from these big ARs moving up. M3 also moving up and doing some very significant damage on Pioneers Beach. We're trying to lay some mines down, but now the shoot coming about, and it is going to force the M3 to retreat. However, the M3 being slightly mismicroed.